Hello and Jai Hind. For the purpose of data visualization challenge, our problem statement is analyzing the global health statistics to extract the gender-based anomaly in occurrences of disease categories across the world and doing nation-specific analysis to find the most incident disease category and the most sought after treatment type. In order to do this, we have imported various libraries like the Pandas, Seaborn, NumPy, Matplotlib, done the simple stuff like reading the CSV file, analyzed its head, tail, the shape and the size, and then found its columns, the information of the data, and then we performed some sort of data cleaning by removing the null values and the duplicate values if there were any. And this sort of data cleaning helped us work on a cleaner data set. Then this data.describe function is helping us to visualize the data in a much statistical note. And over here we can see various statistical parameters like count, mean, standard, and all these statistically important data stuff. So what we have primarily used is we have deployed the technology. We have utilized the fact that DALI value, which is a disability adjusted life years, and it is rather a parameter which decides the number of years lost in a person's life due to illness, disability, or premature death. So we are taking DALI as a parameter index for the impact of various disease categories on human health, and we are trying to analyze this particular data based on the DALI values. So what are we going to do is we are going to find the disparities in the DALI values for various disease categories in males and females, so that we can see how does various disease categories impact these two genders. So that's what we are going to do, and we have grouped the data based on the disease category and gender, and then we have performed the various functions and statements based on the sorting values and summation of the occurrences and groupings. And finally what we have done is we have created the DALI difference. We have created over here the DALI difference of the two genders, and over here we have plotted a graph between the DALI values. So what we can see from this first graph is that definitely the DALI values, they differ to a greater extent. So if we talk about this particular graph represents the DALI disparity between males and females. So we can see that viral diseases and parasitic diseases, these are the two sort of diseases which vary to a great extent in the case of, if we talk about the difference in the DALI values between males and females. So if we just talk about the parasitic diseases, so definitely females are more prone to parasitic diseases as compared to men. And similarly, if we talk about the viral diseases, so definitely viral diseases, we can say that men are more prone to viral diseases as compared to females. So this is one of the conclusions which we can draw from this particular DALI difference graph. Similarly, we have plotted the second chart based on the total occurrences of diseases, and we have utilized this fact based on the top disease categories which contribute to the total DALI contribution. And over here we have found that nearly most of the diseases, most of the top diseases like the genetic, metabolic, autoimmune, parasitic and cardiovascular, they contribute nearly to the similar extent to the total DALI value count. Similarly, this particular graph has been plotted to find the trend of the DALI trends for these two different genders like male and female, and this particular blue line represents the trend for DALI values for males, whereas the orange one stands for females. We can of course see that a maxima of the DALI values for males occur for genetic, whereas a minima occur for respiratory. So this is one of the conclusions which you can draw, that definitely genetic diseases are more prone, are more frequent, are more common in males as compared to any other disease category. So these facts can definitely help us devise health statements and health policies for governments and policy makers. Similarly, this is a box plot, and this particular box plot is representing nothing but a very specific fundamental aspect of distribution of the DALI values, whereby we can see that there exists a wide range. There exists a wide range of DALI values for the case of females, but if you talk about the males, then of course the DALI values are into a much narrower range and narrower band. So what we can infer from this particular graph is that definitely while devising public health policy for females, we have to be more concerned, more conscious, because these DALI values, they depend upon a lot of factors, a lot of varied factors for the case of female gender as compared to male gender. So we have to take in consideration of a lot of factors while deciding the best public health policy for the case of female patients and other female related public policy. Similarly, the other case which we have devised is the distribution of the total daily DALI values based on the disease categories, and this is simply a pie chart which represents the total contribution of diseases to the DALI values. So it's simply a pie chart which represents various diseases and their contributions. So this was all about the visualization part, but what we have tried further to do is we have tried to further we have tried to explore the particular health status of a particular nation based on a particular gender. So what we have used is we have just grouped the data. We have taken a few of the columns, these 4 to 5 columns. These 4 columns have been used for further analysis of the data. And what we have done is we have taken user input as a nation and user input as a gender over here. So we can see that the user over here inputs the country as India, and he inputs the gender as male. And further what we do is we try to analyze the condition of disease categories for males in India, which has been the input by the user. So what we try to find that we try to analyze the incidence rate of the particular diseases, of various diseases for that particular gender in that particular nation. And what we found that these are the various incidence rates, or rather the mean of the incidence rates for various disease categories. And then what we did was we further plotted the graph between the incident rate values, the summation of the incident rate values, and the various disease categories, along with the sought after treatment procedures. So for an example, we see that there exists a peak over here, and below this peak the disease as well as its most sought after procedure has been represented. So this is how it happens. And over here we have done various conclusions, like the maximum occurring disease category among males in India is autoimmune, and the most sought after treatment type is surgery. And similarly, this was the case for the maxima. And we have also made a visualization on which of the treatment procedures is the most sought after for this particular disease. So if we just talk about the neurological diseases, I believe neurological disease is the least occurring disease among males in India. And for that purpose we have plotted a graph whereby we can see that a maximum of the cases for the neurological diseases, we have surgery as the most sought after treatment procedure, whereas for vaccination is the least one. So from here what we can do is we can devise general public health policy, and we can just have this pie chart out there which devises various treatment options for neurological diseases for males in India, whereby we have therapy, vaccination, surgery, and medication. And from these procedures, we can see that which one is the most preferred one and which one is the least preferred one. So the minimum occurring disease category among males in India is neurological, and thus the least sought after treatment type is medication. And finally, this summarizing plot between the various incident rates and the various categories of the diseases found in India for the males, this has been represented. And this is a summarizing graph which states a peak at autoimmune diseases, and definitely a lower minima has been found at neurological diseases. So as a conclusion, what we can say is definitely the gender disparities in the DALI values are evident, with significant differences in the disease impacts between males and females. And there are certain diseases which have a higher burden on males, while there are other ones which we have a higher burden with regard to females. And similarly, these visualizations, they provide a comprehensive understanding of the trends, the distribution, supporting of the data driven decision making. Decision making is something which is being mostly influenced by these data visualization technologies. And if I talk about various other things, like if we talk about the nation specific feature of this particular coding, then definitely the most prominent disease category which we found for Indian males was autoimmune, and the most sought after treatment was surgery. Similarly, the least prominent disease category among males in India was the neurological one, and its most sought after treatment was medication. So what these visualizations help us to do is, just nothing but very prominent and very in-depth analysis into the occurrences of the various disease categories. And whenever we are catering to various genders, with regard to it, we are very much into the game that how we can devise policies so that we can suit to a greater category, to a greater extent of the masses, and serve to a larger number of populations. So this is what this data visualization technique helps us to achieve. Thank you.